Welcome back to the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Center. So let's check in with Bloomsburg University coach Paul Darragh here on the show. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, John. Thanks for having me.
Well, you guys are in camp and grinding there at Bloomsburg University. What's your impression so far of the Huskies?
Well, we've had a good camp. It's been hot, and we've been having to deal with a lot of the weather, the thunderstorms, getting on and off the field, and trying to adjust practice. But we've had a great camp so far. I think our guys have pushed through the heat, and we're developing like we thought we would coming out of spring, and coming together. We'll have a big scrimmage here on Monday, and I think that'll kind of give us an idea of our two deep on each side of the ball in the kicking game, and then we'll proceed from there. But so far, so good. How
tough is it coming in with a quarterback, a quarterback year, kind of coming in and making sure that's settled?
Yeah, when we went into spring, it was important to try to. Chris Paludinski was basically the lead candidate and fighting for that starting spot, and it was. I thought it was good. He separated himself, and he kind of clearly showed that he was the starter and the leader of the offense, and he has not changed that at all coming into camp. He's played extremely well and been consistent, and so, we feel really good about that position, and the guys fighting for the backup spot right now, and even still pushing him, give us some depth. But I think he's really kind of made our, calmed our nerves, so to speak, to have a new starter quarterback by the way he's performed in camp.
And we head into that backfield. Joe Parsnick coming back for yet another year, huh?
Yeah, unbelievable. Joe's he's a captain, and he's a guy that plays in really such a versatile player, along with Lawrence Elliott, who he's going to share time with, and Lawrence is the starting tailback, and Joe really comes in and helps him and plays at tailback, but he lines up at fullback sometimes. He's our one back in our one back package. So the thing about Joe is he's a great leader. He leads by example, and that's why his teammates named him captain. And but he's also very versatile. He plays in a lot of different packages and is a very valuable player for us.
Some of those young guys from northeastern Pennsylvania trying to grind to get on the field. Any fighting still for positions there, whether it's defensively or offensively?
Yeah, I think right now there's certainly some spots up in the air. One of the guys, Jay Popson, who was really battling for the quarterback position. We did move him to wide receiver for this camp to take a look at him and give him a shot to get on the field, and he's really transitioned well. And that's something that we've always done here. Chad Hoffman, who's our really top returning wide receiver, came in as a quarterback, and we've had multiple examples of guys moving from quarterback to receiver, and has been a good transition. So Jay is really fighting for some playing time right now at the receiver position, and I think he's excited about it because that gives him a chance to get on the field. But really, coming out of spring, we had certain positions that were battling. They still are. I can't say that there's been any decisions made on those positions that are up in the air, but there's been a lot of great competition. The other thing I like, we have a couple kids from Central Columbia that is a local school, and certainly Eric McCracken has been probably one of the best fullbacks in the league right now. And Jake Klinger came on in the spring, and he's going to play a lot for us at defensive tackle, so it's good to have that local flavor too.
Coach, more back on the offense or defensive side of the ball this season?
Well, actually on the defensive side this year. But one of the things that I think, even though we lost, really 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen, we did play a couple guys, and they played a lot. And then that's the same thing we do on the defensive side of the ball. So, I look at Greg Rommel and Sean Sokola, who might not be listed as returning starters. They've played enough and performed well enough to can kind of think of them as starters. So I think we, have that kind of returning value on the offensive side and on the offensive line. But, yeah, we would have more experience right now because we graduated. We had 8 or 7 seniors on the offensive side of the ball. But, again, defensively, even though we lost some starters, we play a lot of guys up front. We play probably 8 to 10 defensive linemen in the game, and we rotate linebackers through. So I think that helps us have that experience. But certainly a little bit more seasoned on the defensive side of the ball for this season.
Paul Darragh joining us here on the John Mendola Show. Paul, Danny Hale did it for a long time at Bloomsburg. Just seemed like everything kind of grew on him. Is it kind of the same for you, the atmosphere of Bloomsburg, the people, everything you got? I mean, some people like to go to a place 3-4 years and they go somewhere else or whatever, but you've been a real staple there at Bloomsburg University.
Yeah, I think, even kind of what happened with Danny was he came here and he found a found a home and a place that he loved the people that he worked with and the kids that he coached, and settled in. And that's the same thing that happened to myself. I came here, and I probably did have that mentality. I was going to be here for 3 or 4 years and move on, like most coaches do in college coaching. But I saw a value to staying at a place like Bloomsburg. I met my wife. I had a family, and there's a value to having some stability, and that's what it's given me. And I've always had a chance to be part of a successful program, and then you can't put a value on that. It's fun to be able to compete year in and year out for something, and I know that's what our players like. That's what I like, and certainly our coaching staff that's had a lot of continuity. That's why we stay. So it's been a good mix of both on and off the field of the people that have been around me, and certainly have enjoyed going into my 20th year now.
Well, always great talking to you. We go back 30 years when I first met you.
John. Yeah,
but,
that's a long time ago.
It is, sir. But keep it going, man. Rooting for you there at Bloomsburg University.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, John.
Okay. Paul Darragh from the Bloomsburg University Huskies football team here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.